With that thing. I've been on a weird kick lately, you guys. I have fallen down the YouTube rabbit hole of yacht reviews. Don't ask me
Yacht
how.
reviews?
Don't ask me how. Yeah, like imagine like 60-foot yachts. We're talking in like say probably the $2 to $5 million range, you know. And
So you're shopping.
Yeah, totally, 100%. You know, no problem. And for some reason,
How big of a crew do you need?
Well, that's one of the things I've been trying to learn, right? I've been fascinated.
Hiring deckhands?
I've been fascinated. This is even a thing, right? And so last night I was like, okay, how does this even work? So I started asking Grok questions like, okay, is this like if you own a yacht, how do you rent it out to people? Is there like Airbnb for yachts? And the answer is yes, there absolutely is. And there's a whole thing, and like you have to get like if you're going to carry passengers, there's different rules, and you have to have a license. And I was like, this is just interesting. Like I'm a marine engineer. Like I felt like just seeing what they can do with these small boats is amazing. And some of the tech
But
they
we've
put in
already
it is just
started,
so
right?
cool.
Like this is what people want to hear from us, is us having this bullshit conversation right here.
All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gamers of all ages. It's episode 39 of the On the Button podcast. My name's Wes. I'm here with Ian and Trey once again to talk things Star Wars Unlimited. Trey, how you doing tonight, man?
Dude, that was so much energy.
Yeah.
You had so much energy, and I'm like sedate. I feel like it's been forever since we chatted, since we did all this. And like I came in, I don't know. I felt like I've just kind of landed the plane. Like after my summer, this is like my first day post summer. Like the girls are gone, and like we got our house back to ourselves. And I don't know, it just kind of feels like I've just. And now I get to take my breath and then take off into football season. So I'm like, and I haven't talked to you guys about this in a while. Like I played some Unlimited, but I haven't spoken to you guys. It feels like forever.
Mm-hmm.
Has it really only been a couple of weeks?
It's only been a couple of weeks, and I haven't been around very much. Like life and work has been kicking me in the ass, so I haven't seen much of you guys.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm like all my issues that I had before are now like, they still hurt, but they're navigated.
I have to know what. Go ahead.
How many showers did you take after cleaning the cat room?
That's what I had to know. I have to know about how the condo thing went.
We had a bet over or plus 5. No.
So I don't know how to like turn this into like a
family friendly
showering praise on my wife. Actually, I got there and it was fine.
Wow.
So we had my wife is incredible. Like she handled all of this. She talked to she set up all the painters. She talked to the guy that we use for general contractor who's doing a kind of spearheading all the work when he didn't have a painter, because this is a place that's 2 hours away. She found somebody and then checked all the references, and then the painter has already, by the time I got there, so Saturday we loaded up everything to take all of her stuff up to school, and I was in my truck, which I am a little nervous about driving that far because it's a big ancient truck and it was full of stuff. So that truck goes 55 miles an hour, and so you driving down the highway in Houston where there is no speed limit, and my truck goes 55.
That's not fast enough.
People go whizzing by. So it took me. Normally, it takes me about an hour and a half to get to College Station. It took me a little over 2 hours to get there this time. And by the time I got there, like the painter had done all the work to put they have the special primer they put on the walls, and they painted like the subfloors because the smell had soaked into those. And so it was horrible. But the painter doing the work, and then when I got there, I like pulled up and I like got out and I walked in the door, and like the bottom floor is just my wife and my daughter. I mean, it was Cinderella style on their knees, like scrubbing the ground with buckets of water, and I didn't smell anything.
Wow,
it was awesome. So like I was the lift big heavy things, and then I had to like go get the cable modem and set up internet, and then I had to go to Lowe's and buy all the stuff we need. So I was like the lift heavy things guy, but she killed it.
Nice.
So I just told her, I don't know what you were griping about. This place is great. I don't understand the issue here. No, not really. They both described it to me well enough that I've given her major kudos about it. But
that's awesome.
It's navigated. Our cars are both working, and like so we've gotten through it. I hope nothing else happens. Let's put it that way.
Life is life, baby. Ian, what about you?
Been good. Just got back from Vegas vacation.
I was gonna say, how was
really
Vegas?
It was good. It was good. Saw the Backstreet Boys.
I was gonna say, you obviously survived the Backstreet Boys concert.
So we saw it at the Sphere. We had obstructed viewing. This is very important to this story coming up.
Okay.
So let's say the screen was the size of this awesome card.
Okay.
I thought the screen was the whole thing.
Okay, so this is the whole thing, right? We could see about this much of it.
Oh no!
Maybe of the
bottom, like the bottom quarter is what you're showing
like
there.
The bottom, like corner, basically. Wow. It wasn't much.
Did you know that whenever you bought the tickets?
So my wife bought them, and they were hella cheap.
Now you know why.
And they came with obstructed view, so she wasn't really sure why. And it was a concert.
Yeah.
So for 3 songs, we had crotch view. So I will say this. I'll give them this, okay? They have mastered the Obi-Wan Kenobi blue screen guy to a T. They can do it live action in their dance sequence. Huh? They were Obi-Wan Kenobi all over the screen. But for like 3 songs, we got crotch view. And then we had 2 songs where we had nothing. We just saw nothing. They went up on a platform. We saw nothing. So,
was it like a pillar, or like were you under a hubble, or were you
like under the balcony or something? Were you like way back under the balcony?
The Sphere is interesting because it's a concert venue and like an experience. So
right.
We went and saw the Wizard of Oz thing, and my wife Googled like, because she was super upset with her seats. She Googled what's the best seats for Wizard of Oz, and we literally sat like in the best seats in the house. I can tell you that Wizard of Oz thing was one of the best movie experiences I've ever seen.
That's really cool.
I compared it to seeing the first Avatar film in 3D.
Okay.
When I walked out of the theater of seeing Avatar for the first time in 3D, I was like, man, this is really good 3D effects.
Yep.
I felt the same thing coming out of Wizard of Oz. I was like, man, this was a really good movie effect. They use a lot of AI and a lot of CG to make things exist that never exist, but somehow they kind of almost work. It was really good. Really loved it.
Did I ever show you the picture that I took outside the Sphere this year in Vegas because of the Wizard of Oz? It's probably not going to show up on camera. I'm gonna blow this up on my phone to see if I can show you.
Well, share it in the chat. Share it in the chat with everybody.
Oh, with the feet.
Oh yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
They literally, as you walk by the Sphere at street level, they have the Wicked Witch of the East's feet sticking out from underneath the Sphere.
I hadn't seen the Wizard of Oz in like 20 years when I saw it.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this actually is a really good movie. I actually watched it like 3 days ago, and I was like, this is actually a very good movie.
Yeah. So, anyways,
what about you? What about you, Wes?
Oh God! So the week after the last time we recorded that Sunday night, and I was ranting about work. It was all supposed to come to and like be over the day after. Like that Monday was supposed to be the end of it, and it wasn't. The entire rest of that week was like a 55-hour week for me, and it was just absolutely unpleasant. I worked until 11 o'clock, I think, each of the first 3 nights of the week, and by Thursday, I told my boss, I said, A, I'm walking out of here at 3 o'clock. You can't stop me. And B, I'm not working tomorrow, and you can't make me. So yeah, last week, blessedly, was way calmer. But 2 weeks ago, one of the worst weeks I've had on this project. Hopefully, I don't have another one like it. We're staying busy, which is good in my business because usually when work dries up is when they start showing people the door. But yeah, it was not a good week. Heather can attest, it was not a good week.
I did make a guy at work want to fist fight me this week. That was fun.
Hey, all right.
Whoa,
let's go.
It's just I do highly technical stuff, and I'm like, I need this. He needed to create like an Excel spreadsheet, couple of tables, and he wouldn't do it. And I never changed. I was like, this is what I need, and then he just wouldn't do it, or he wouldn't understand, or he would take over the meeting and not like, not understand anything. So
yeah. Other than that, I have had like all of my just downtime energy has gone to other things than Star Wars Unlimited these last few weeks. I have had honestly almost apathy about Premiere at the moment. So Ian, you talked about a couple episodes back where you had been during Lawless Time. I think it was 2 episodes ago. You were like, look, during like the whole lawless meta didn't interest you, and you spent all this energy on Twin Suns.
Yeah, and it got worse.
Well, hell, we're coming to that in a minute.
Better.
We're coming to that in a minute. But in the last 2 weeks, that's been me, right? I looked at Premier.
You just jumped on the train.
I had no interest in Premier decks, and so it was like I've literally spent my time when I wanted to think about SWU. I've been drawing up Twin Suns decks. All right, I sat down and sketched out Jabba Baby Boba, like Underworld Credit, Boba Bounty Hunter Manufacturing. I sketched out a Rebel one. I'm gonna sketch out some other. Like the Dooku and Dooku deck is kind of coming together. So like when I've wanted to do things, I've been putting energy into Twin Suns decks because I've had so little interest in Premier of late. But maybe. Go ahead.
Hold on. I got to talk about this because I want everybody to know this is not supposed to be a Twin Suns podcast.
It's
this
not
is supposed
really.
to be like 3 guys sitting around talking about. We enjoy this game. We share the whole game is what we're supposed to talk about.
Yeah.
But we keep getting driven further and further from Premiere because I had a similar experience to like Wes. You weren't even there, and I didn't play Premiere.
No, the little $5 tournament last week or two.
That was so brutal.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like I didn't play Premier Galactic, so I guess I'm delayed into this meta game, and I took a deck and to this $5 tournament we had, not this past Tuesday, but the one before, and it just wasn't fun. I just didn't have any fun playing the game. It was, and I didn't do well, but I went 4-4 in games. I played the Asajj Pilot Red, so it was kind of a little bit off the wall, but it was.
I saw you playing that deck, yeah.
Red, but like I went 4-4 in games, and it was. Nothing I did was of consequence, and that's what made it no fun. Like it was either me, because at the time I didn't have chimeras, and so it was either me durdling around or trying to, did I draw aggressive negotiation? Oops, I win, or I didn't draw aggressive negotiation and they stalled until they could play chimera, and that was the whole game. Every game revolved around, did they play chimera or did I go play this card, hit you for 20, win the game? Like every single game was that, and it just. Like nothing I did before that was, or they did before that was remotely interesting, and so I just felt like I was kind of standing there drawing cards, and okay, I won. I didn't do anything to win. I drew the card. Okay, yay. Or I would like try to put the work in to like finagle. Like I'm playing a slightly more aggressive deck with Asajj, and I'm trying to like hit them and get them down so I can get them in kill range just in case I don't draw aggressive negotiation. And then they go, I hit 7 resources. I've won the game. Oh, so nothing I did mattered. Oh wait, so I won this game and nothing I did mattered. And I just had no fun playing the game. So now here we are all talking about Twin Suns because that's hella fun.
It's for right now for me, it's the one place that I feel like I can build a deck and actually be creative, right? Because in Premiere you pretty much can't right now. But maybe, gentlemen, as we record this episode a day late by design, right? Maybe today's announcement will move the needle. We'll see. Of course, FFG came in today, and as predicted, when they announced this stream, about 10 days ago, a week ago, whenever they put it on the calendar, Cad Bane, of course, now kicked to the curb. He is gone on the naughty.
Another week though.
On the naughty list. Well, weekend. Okay, yes. Hold on, we're coming to that. All right. So he's on the naughty list now. Starting at the beginning of next week, as of next Monday, 1 week from today, as we record this episode on Monday night, he'll be Das ist verboten. But it does mean that events this coming weekend, if you have a PQ, a Premier event coming, but anytime this week up through Sunday, essentially, he is still going to be around.
I'm sure glad I sold my CAD showcase at Galactics.
I was gonna say, honestly, if I would have done the same thing because I don't think anybody had any expectation, like realistically, that he was gonna stick around in Premiere. So circle back around, Trey. Now that CAD is exiting stage right, does that get you more interested in Premiere? Do you feel like things are gonna get better?
Well, one, I felt safe enough that I ordered chimeras today. So since they cannot be banned, they're untouchable.
Yeah, they basically are.
For this game, for this moment in time with the game, this is the best they could do. And you can't touch the chase legendaries that are driving sales because this is a business and they have to make money. And the appropriate answer is, they gave some BS answer of why we don't do that. But no, the real answer is they can't murder sales of the game and I understand that. So this is the best they could do. I don't think it'll work. I do think in the long term, here's what I think is about to happen. I think it will appear to work in the short term because you will have events that pop up where everybody who's building these decks is trying to find what the best leader to play with Chimera is, which is also previous list. So you're going to have people playing hero blue red and splashing Chimera. You're going to have
you
people
already
playing,
do.
Yeah, but I mean, you're going to have all these other decks that come in that play Chimera, and then it's going to be kind of a popcorn, pop, 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 pop. Everybody trying different things to find the best Chimera deck. And so if you look at just the leaders that make the top 8 for the next 2 weeks, you're going to see it's going to be a pretty wide open list of leaders, and then everybody's going to figure it out. Oh, this is the best Chimera deck, and then it's going to go almost. It probably won't be as bad. I'm not saying Cad Bane wasn't a problem at all. Cad Bane had his issues, but those only made Cad Bane the absolute best leader to play with these cards that are too powerful already. And so now, whenever they find out what the new best leader is, then that'll be the one everybody settles on. And I think that FFG is just hoping. I mean, they are being serviced so nicely by this rearrangement of the calendar, because they only have to kick this can down the road. They just have to keep it going so much less time this time around. Just get us to Homeworlds, please, and please be something in there. Like, because they said one of the things they said in the stream was that, oh, we want all our legendaries to be this powerful. That's great.
But they aren't.
They aren't, and they aren't in this set, and I haven't seen legendaries in the next set that are this powerful. So I don't. We'll see what happens. We'll see if things get shaken up when Homeworlds comes out. I do have one real big question, because I have 2 questions. One, did they just channel all of their Micro Machines guy when they were doing this stream? Did either of you actually watch the stream, or did you see the aftermath?
I went back. I watched none of it when it was live. I had other things going on. I went back, I think, yesterday and watched the finals. Right, I love listening.
Don't worry about that.
I love listening to Josh and Tower call a good match like that. So I went back and watched pretty much the finals in the entirety.
So the announcement today was one of those where it was the FFG guy sitting around a table, and I don't know names. So it's the guy with the dark hair.
You mean the live stream today?
Yes, the live stream today.
Oh, okay. I listened to it. I didn't really watch it. I had it on another window while I was working on.
Do you remember the Micro Machines guy who talked 100 miles an hour?
100 miles an hour, yeah.
Every person on that panel, especially the guy giving all the reasoning, and not again on his dark hair with the gray or white streak in it.
It was Ryan and Aaron. I forget which one was talking. It was the brothers.
I was like, I don't understand the freaking word. Like, I could pick out. I mean, I'm 50, so maybe I'm just too old and I can't understand people talking. But he's clearly, that guy is not the face of that you put on camera, because he thinks fast, he talks fast. But it was just super fast. All right, so that aside, we figured it out. I just didn't want to say that. I wanted to comment on the stream and just was like, never mind.
Well, hold on. I'm gonna interject one thought before you move on, right? Because I'm someone who has spent a lot of time on camera and worked with a wide variety of people doing it. Some folks are nervous on cameras if they're not used to it, and until you get comfortable, you tend to be maybe a little self-conscious, maybe a little amped up, right? So that might be something.
Totally possible.
I don't know.
Maybe part of it. This is me. I don't hear him say this and go, "That's a bad person. He should go to jail."
No.
Just noticing it.
Noticing
it. Just super speed. All right. So one of the other comments that they made that I thought was interesting, he said, "In our testing, Cad Bane, our aggressive decks were tuned to the point where Cad Bane's ability and Chimera weren't an issue." So I want to know who sucks at building decks. Is it the guys at FFG who do this, who suck at building decks, and they don't know how to build a Chimera deck to properly stop people when they throw all of the Sentinel in there? Or is it everybody else who just doesn't know how to build an aggro deck to beat him, and the people in the background of FFG are like, man, these players are the dumbest people. Just do this and it beats Cad. We don't need to ban him. Just build this deck and it neutralizes. Like, I don't know who it is. Somebody sucks at building decks. And it's either the wisdom of the masses is wrong, or these people in the background who are very intimately involved with the game are just not as good at building the Chimera deck as the people in the masses are.
Go, Ian.
We've covered this time and time again. Their playtesting is terrible. Absolutely terrible. They come out with sets that have no value. They come out with leaders that are so overpowered, they're banned. Like, this isn't... it's interesting. Like a lot of card games I've learned over the past week have these type of problems, right? It's a very difficult balance, right? But like,
Yes.
it's if you give it to the players, we're going to find out how to break it. That's what I've learned about this game, right? We're going to figure out how to break it. Their playtesters don't put enough playtest time in, whatever it is. There's not enough time spent, or it's the wrong playtesting people, or the playtesters are tournament players and they hold back when they build those decks.
I find that to be less likely, but it is possible. Go ahead.
It's just their playtesting is terrible. It's absolutely terrible.
So again,
Triple Dark Raid got printed.
I'm gonna come back to a discussion we've had before, right? In that sometimes it's not necessarily the playtesters, because I have been the guy standing in the room saying, "Guys, I think this is crazy," and the designers of the game will look at you and say, "That's fine. Crazy is what we want." So understand that even if the playtesters give you good data, they are not the people making the decision about what gets printed and the power level that it has when it goes out the door. It's not their decision. All they can do is provide data and feedback to the guys who make those decisions. All right. So you can't just lay it all at their feet, right? No. They may or may not be culpable. I don't know in this instance, but it's not their call.
So I want to defend Ian and then give my opinion. I don't think Ian is saying the people that are doing the playtesting are like, he's not laying the fault at their feet. I think he's laying the fault at FFG's feet for having a crappy playtesting program.
Yes,
because it's volunteers.
That
100%.
That I think is what Ian is calling out more than these people just don't do a good job. Of course, they have real jobs. They have real lives outside of this. They're being asked to do this stuff in their spare time for $50 in store credit, and it's whatever. They're not incentivized to, who's incentivized is people who this is their job. The other part of this is to your point, Wes, I think that that's a possibility in this instance, because listening to him on the stream, he said, we wanted these to be this powerful. I think a big part is they just don't understand how powerful Chimera is. I don't think they understand their cards very well.
I'm inclined to agree. I mean, they're like, we want all our legendaries to be this strong. I'm like, well, then that's awesome. First of all, we agree with you. Like, we want legendaries to be this strong, okay? But where are they, right? Because you printed 20 legendaries in this set, and this many of them have moved the needle.
3, if you're listening in audio.
I'm holding up 3 fingers, okay? This many, I have 3 fingers. So at that
you
point,
have 10, you're just only holding up 3.
Where are the other 17, right? Now, not all. Now, I'll say this. Many of those are not genuinely bad cards. Some of them are genuinely bad cards, okay? I look at the giant space. Not as many of them. No, I look at the giant space octopus and think, I don't understand why anybody ever thought this card, A, was a good idea, and B, should have been a legendary, and C, should have had 7 versions, right? Because it has a prestige and a foil, and oh my gosh, just stop with this thing, okay? Fine. But in general, like, I'll use a card. One of my favorite cards, one of my favorite L's to come out of this last set, Zeborelios, right? Zeborelios is a banger card in Grief Red because he can hit the board and be a game ender. And that's exactly the kind of card. It's a great, solid looking card. Like, I love that card. But it's not nearly as FU as Chimera is for the exact same cost. They both cost 7.
Well, and I'll tell you, like, I think that most of the legendaries in this set are of a good power level. Like,
I agree.
If you go back to Twilight or some of the older sets, some of the other sets, you look at the legendaries and you don't want to play them.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, this is terrible. It's overcosted. It's underpowered. Whatever it is, I don't want to play this card. You've made a card I actively don't want to play. At least with Lawless Time and Ashes, they've made a bunch of cards I want to play. I just can't because they're held in check because I'm not. These look like fun. They look like they would be decently powerful. Like, there should be some money involved in acquiring these particular cards because they look like they would be game-changing cards if they didn't have to compete in the face of Chimera.
So yeah, to circle back to Cad, we've kind of dived away a little bit because Cad is, I think, just a symptom of a larger issue, right? He's the face of the problem deck in the environment, but it's not really his fault, right? And it's not really, and he is crazy.
It's his wording.
It's his
wording.
I had never really thought about it, but Ryan over at Rebel Resource made a video in the last couple of weeks that really kind of helped me understand. I had never thought about it in this lens, and when he explained it, it was basically, we've had ping leaders in the game before, right? Quinlan Voss, original Cad Bane from Shadows of the Galaxy, as two examples. Padme, right, from just 2 sets ago. Ping leaders have been around, but they've all had a qualifier, some cost to trigger the thing, whatever the thing was. You had to, with Cad, with
discard or disclose.
Well, exactly. It was, with Padme, it was the disclose, and with Quinlan, it was the cost of the unit you had to play, and then with Cad, it was you had to be an underworld unit, which is not outrageous, but at least still required some other action to occur to trigger the ping.
Those were some of the most powerful leaders in their own right, and even with that drawback.
Yes.
They were some of the most powerful.
Well, you say drawback. It wasn't even really a drawback. It was an opportunity cost. Exactly. In order to trigger the thing you want, you must fulfill this thing, whatever bar we've set is. And then finally we printed it. It hadn't occurred to me, but literally they printed a leader that says, we don't care what you do, just tap it and ping a unit, basically. You can't kill it.
Yeah.
You can't ping it to death, but you can deal a damage at any time you want. Just tap. And when he put it in that lens, I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. Why did this not occur to me how crazy that was until this moment?
All it needed is the text of saying, if you have another bounty hunter.
Wouldn't have been bad. Something. Put some kind of qualifier on it.
Yeah.
Right?
It's the free ping that makes him so deadly. It's just free.
It's
free.
Just,
doesn't matter what you do, I can ping. I can ping a shield off. And it's not even like you choose. Like a lot of times some of the pings I feel like some of the pings have been like you choose. Or maybe that's just the twin sun leaders, but like sometimes it's you choose, like, or the cards are at least.
Yeah.
It's a free ping. Just ping whatever you want. Oh, the original Cad put the ownership on the other player.
Right.
You got to unit, deal 1 damage, but they got to place it.
Right. Like you got to deal the damage. You were triggering it, but then they got to locate it, so they controlled where it went.
The player still has complete control of it with no backdraw, 0 backdraw, and he gets the best card pool in the game because he doesn't have any cards he has to play as a backdraw, right? I'm sure plenty of people are now that Cad's out of the picture, right? I'm sure plenty of people are like, who is the next red-blue villainy that takes their place? But any other red-blue villainy deck you build now has the drawback of you have to do something to get something, right? The only one who's not that way is Dedra. Dedra puts the ownership on the player. Worst thing is you do 2 damage or you get a card.
Get a card. Yeah. You're going to see
right?
You're going to see people audible to Dedra. You're going to see people try or a sing, right? Or a red was already kind of a thing in the control deck environment last set, right? We saw a couple of PQs won by that deck. Dedra Colossus was already a thing. It's going to come back. It never really and it's not really gone, and I really honestly think, and it irritates me to say this, I'm not convinced we're going to get a healthy meta for this game until the bases over 30 HP rotate out.
Oh, it's going to get worse. It's not going to get better.
And then because essentially, like, those bases existing, that's not entirely accurate, but we don't have aggro. Right? I keep coming back to, there is no aggro deck in the environment right now, and I'm not convinced that banning Cad is going to fix that. Because you have all of these bases, all these people to play Data Vault or Colossus, because we've printed enough cards now that those aren't really drawbacks anymore, and so you can't really have an aggro deck, and until you can have aggro decks in the environment, you can't. Control is going to just do whatever it wants. It's rough. It's rough out there right now.
So me griping about saying it, Chimera and not Cad, but I mean Cad is more powerful. I just thought about. I mean, I'm glad that they did ban Cad now, because the ease with which they seem to be, the next set seems to be handing out -1/-1 tokens would have just been bananas with. I'm going to knock your guy at 1 and then
weaken it and it's dead.
It's and it seems like it's going to be real easy to weaken things. I'm curious about how powerful that's going to be.
I am curious. I also think that it's going to I think the weakness tokens are going to be interesting. I think they're going to cause people to reevaluate some cards that we currently have, cards like Reforge, right, out of blue, where you can basically, your opponent, like, I'm going to hand you a weakness token. Great, I'm going to take that and go pull a Darksaber out of my deck for cheap, LOL. So, which I love, because that's just good counterplay if you're playing into a color, knowing that he might have those tools available to him, those kinds of things. But it is going to be interesting to see how weakness tokens move the needle.
I just want to state this now, and I'm saying this real early. Icons is going to destroy this game.
You don't...
Okay. Crush this game.
This is interesting.
Like the meta version of this game will be in such chaos for icons. They're doing reprints. They're bringing back cards like Open Fire.
Sure.
I guarantee they're going to bring out some other really good older school cards, and they're not going to have play tested it well, and somebody's going to come up with a deck that is just going to smoke everyone. And this is going to get really bad in icons.
When you say destroy everyone, you destroy the game, you mean it's really going to hurt the game. Like it's going to be in a bad shape because it's
going to be this same thing with Cad all over again. There'll be another leader or another subset when those icon cards come, and it's going to be bad. It's going to be real bad.
We'll see. I don't know.
We'll see.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. It's got me very worried for that like short turnaround of like, I feel like Homeworlds is going to stabilize it, and then Icons is just going to throw it right back into whack.
Without knowing what they're going to reprint, it's difficult to say, for me anyway. But the other thing about Homeworlds is barely going to arrive before Icons hits the shelves. We're not even going to have time to absorb Homeworlds' impact before they throw another stone in the lake. So it's going to be a very awkward spell, right? To see how that all shakes out.
And expensive.
And yes, there is that.
Does anybody else feel like this ban of Cad is useless at this point?
No, I don't think it's useless.
I think it is going to.
It had to happen.
They have
and
to
it is going to shake things up in that while everybody figures out, it's going to look shaken up while everybody figures out what the best cards to play, what the best leader to play with Chimera is. So,
well, I mean, heroism cards play him. So
I was going to say, Chimera. you're already seeing
blue
him
play Chimera.
You're already seeing those cards in Lando Blue, right? You're already seeing them in Mando Blue, like Mando Colossus. So, I mean,
it's going to be everywhere. But it's just there will be some best version of a Chimera.
Yeah, I agree.
To a lesser extent, pre-Vizsla deck, and so
I think the struggle we're on really is that the best legendaries currently available are just all in Vigilance, and no other color at the moment feels like they can compete with that. And so everybody is going to be in blue. Period.
Here's a question I just thought of that I want to ask the two of you is, do you think this gives it back to the pilot leaders? Do you think the pilot leaders are going to dominate again now? Like, does it throw it back to Boba and Vader?
They're still going to be
the
good.
Best decks in the format?
They're still going to be good. They never stopped being good, but I don't think they're immediately going to run away with everything. I don't think so. Okay.
Terrified for Vader Yellow.
Vader Yellow. I don't know. It needs to exist. Vader Yellow needs to exist. It has to have some angle of attack that keeps ground sentinel decks at bay.
Yeah, that wins in 6.
Right. And he's got a lot of tools. Like the nice thing about one of the nice things about Vader Yellow is there's not a set that's gone by since that deck came into being that he hasn't gotten some tools. The toolbox grew a little bit, whether it was a space unit or plot cards or whatever. He's always gotten a couple little extra things that just enable him to stay relevant and stay strong. And that, for my money, I realize people don't like the pilot leaders for a variety of reasons, and I understand all of that.
I don't understand it at all. I don't know why they don't like them.
I understand. We could have that conversation at a different time. We should put that on for like a future episode, maybe. So I understand why. I don't like you, Trey. I don't maybe always agree, but I at least understand the complaint. But Vader, to me, that Vader Yellow deck is a perfect example of a deck that stays relevant, that leader has consistently gotten support that other leaders like Phasma have never gotten. Why? Because they kept printing fighters. That's all it took.
Yeah.
You kept printing fighters. At its core, Vader is a tribal deck in a way. He's looking for that fighter keyword, same as Luke, right? And so those two pilots have stayed relevant because they've continued to print fighters. Other leaders, the Force leaders stay relevant because they're looking for just the Force trait. No big deal, easy. As long as we keep printing Force traits, all of the Force leaders, all of the Force bases remain somewhat relevant in the meta, whether it's Obi or Talzin or whoever. It's where they fall off of specific traits and they don't pay attention to where those go and feeding that beast that we end up with binder fodder like Phasma and Holdo.
Yeah, and on the Vader leader for me, I don't play Vader. I don't. It doesn't seem like one that's fun for me. But it is very important that the Vader deck exists.
Yes,
Vader, it lives in it's very good for the game that Vader deck exists, because otherwise, like you need to have something that's positioned in such a way to keep other decks honest, because otherwise it's just going to devolve into a slug match on the ground.
Yeah,
with Sentinels and stuff.
Yep.
As long as I'm allowed to hate it, I don't care.
Oh, you can hate it all you want. Just don't say it's bad for the game.
You can hate it all you want.
I suck at playing it against it. Freaking hate it.
That's fine. You can hate it. You can not want to play it in a tournament. You can say this is super powerful, but just you have to acknowledge that you don't have to.
No, it's good. It's good. And I do like that
it's good for the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do like that it's not aggro colors or the way I would think it aggro, but it plays like an aggro deck, and it's fast and it's wide and it's cool.
So in that vein, Ian, you talked previously about advocating for a deck at the same time, like playing a deck that you also are like advocating for banning, in the sense of, man, I hate this deck, I think it's garbage, it needs to go, but in the interim I'm going to keep playing it. Continue that thought for me, right? Because we talked on it briefly, but we didn't cover it last time.
Man, this thought has brought me down some crazy rabbit holes that I've watched about trading card games, and we'll get into some of that a little later, but it doesn't make logical sense to me, I guess, as a human being. You can't sit there and rally against something and say it's the big bad evil and then go out and write it into victory. Like, it's such a terrible oxymoron. And it shows that, like, something that's always bothered me, I guess, in life, but sometimes people put winning above everything, right? Instead of creativity or care, and they're just, I want to win. Now, I get it. Like, Cad's winning at the best rate we've seen a deck win, I believe, minus maybe Boba Yellow in set 1.
Maybe it's pretty high up there.
All the Bobas,
pretty good.
Put all the Bobas together, they're probably right there. It's I don't know. I mean, you talked to me. We talked about this off camera about how, like, it's part of being part of, like, the community of making content as well too, is to talk about the bad, even if you're willing to ride with the bad. I just think for me personally, it's not something I get or understand or could ever do. Like, I was a huge Yoda player, and then when Wu took it out and won a bunch of PQs, I switched decks up because I'm like, I just don't want to be, let's just go in and swing that best deck that's the greatest thing ever. So it is, I don't know, I guess it's just an Ian thing, but I just don't love it. I don't love it. It just bothers me. It's a personal thing.
But you get some enjoyment out of the game, right? Like, you have a thing that you like to do that brings you fulfillment and happiness doing this game.
Yeah,
or doing any game.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite part of this game is building decks, going out and playing them and seeing how they play. That's my favorite part.
And that's wonderful, and that's great that you have that. But not everybody is like Ian.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Some people they don't care about necessarily expressing their creativity through decks. They like the idea of pitting their brain against someone else's brain. And I mean, this is an Old West gunfighter. My skill against your skill, mano a mano, who's going to emerge from this victorious? And there is a certain thrill associated with that that can be what they focus on. And if that's what you're focused on, then that's what's going to bring you happiness. And so you can split your attention. And you can say, I want to win this gunfight, so I'm going to bring the 6-shooter. But I can see that the 6-shooter is bad for this game, because now the metaphor falls apart there. But it doesn't really, but I don't want to pursue it anymore. But you can say, I'm going to bring this broken gun to the fight. Like I want to win. It's very important for me to win. Well, at the same time, acknowledging that in order for the game to maintain a healthy status, that this particular weapon that I'm going to fight with is overly powerful, and if it continues in this vein, people are going to leave the game. It's not going to be any fun. You can advocate for the long-term health of the game while still wanting to to win the match. And if you deliberately handicap yourself, you're just not going to win. So you're not going to get your fulfillment because somebody else is not going to deliberately handicap themselves and they're going to beat you. And so if what you find is happiness in winning, you're not going to get your happiness by deliberately handicap yourself. So if you're the type of person to do that, which I am and you are, I'm not going to go out and play CAD necessarily because I find that boring, but that's because I want to express my creativity because I find something else different. So also, if we don't have if we don't have a bunch of people wanting to play the absolute best thing, and we have all these people that cap themselves, we are not going to have the data show up for FFG for them to do something about it. And that's extremely important because this is all incentives and human nature and all of that stuff goes into why you would choose to do CAD to do this. And so when these people who are incentivized to play a particular thing actually do so, that is the only way they're ever going to ban it. So if you have a significant portion of people just handicap themselves, you're just going to have the one person who's not willing to handicap themselves just rip win after win after win because, okay, so the same guy won, he must be really good at the game. No, he just happened to find the deck that nobody else knew about, and then CAD is still unhealthy for the game. So they have to have that data in order to make the changes that need to be made.
Ian, are you familiar with the term malicious compliance?
No.
There is a really, really good subreddit on this. I'll give you an example in my own personal life. All right.
Okay.
It makes me happy. Malicious compliance makes me so happy.
This is the example I'm going to use on this topic. Okay. I have a nice covered patio behind my house that faces a golf course. All right. And recently, my homeowners association sent us a nastygram because I have a nice, freestanding propane grill on my patio underneath the cover, underneath the raincoat. It can't get rained on. It doesn't sit in the sun or whatever. It's not sitting in the yard. But it's not, I don't have like one of those little covers you're supposed to put over the grill. Okay. And and nowhere in any of the rules does it say that I'm required to do this. But they have taken it upon themselves to decide that this is a problem. They sent me a letter. Sure. So my wife and I now have been out shopping for custom grill covers. I'm going to get one made it's a picture of my grill that I'm going to cover my grill that looks just like my grill, just so I can flip these guys the middle finger. Okay. That's exactly what I'm going to do. That is the definition of malicious compliance. So now with that groundwork laid, I want you to think back to Denver. Ian, you came to Denver with me about a year and change ago, and we covered the last major event that was Django Mania, right? And we knew going in, we knew it was going to be bad. When that event ended, the gentleman who won, and his name escapes me, I forget, he went on to the KTO Discord about a half an hour after he won and said, everybody was giving him high fives, GGs, congratulations. And he said, thanks, guys. I did my part to get Django banned. So you have to think of some of these kinds of things through that lens, right? If players acknowledge this is the best deck, it's broken, it's gross, it's OP, whatever phrase you want to throw at it, but it's legal. As long as it's legal and FFG hasn't banned it, it's like they printed the cards, I'm going to play it, okay? And that's just the way it's going to be until you have as Trey was saying, presented them with enough evidence that they go, oh, yeah, this is kind of bad. We should fix this. And so you end up with today where they come along with Cad and lop his head off.
Any better?
Yeah, I mean, a little.
I mean, it's still not going to resonate. It's still not going to resonate with you because that's not what you find fun. It's not what I find fun.
100%.
That's fine.
But I do see it from that. Yeah, 100% see it from that lens.
Okay.
And it's a great point. Like the $5 tournament is a great point, right? Like don't bring a BB gun to a machine gun fight. Like you're going to lose every time, right? And that's what CAD is right now. And that's what led me down like this weird topic of zero decks, which I had never heard of. So this is Ian's learning new TCG terms.
Right. Keep going. I think I want to pick your brain on this one.
So zero decks is something that comes up occasionally, I guess, in Magic, but I guess happens more in Yu-Gi-Oh, right? where a competitive deck eats up 65% of the win rate. Means that it's making top 8s at 65, it's winning tournaments at top 65. Like it's 65% of the top 8s are this deck, no matter what you do, no matter what tournament, no matter what. And basically it's by far and away the best deck in a format. And the only real counter for it is to go first. Cad's not that bad, but in SWU, he feels that oppressive. So It was an interesting thing that I learned about, and it was when I started comparing the numbers and looking at like Cad's numbers of what his win rates are and his top 8s and all that kind of stuff. They're the highest we've ever seen in SWU. So it's very, these zero decks or these net decks or like these decks that just dominate the format, they do come up occasionally. So Cad has just found that like perfect formula and the perfect storm of other cards that play around him that make him very difficult to beat. Like I feel like a Cad on Cad matchup is more about draw than it is skill sometimes. Now there's always going to be some skill to it, right? Like I can make a bad play when I should have played a certain card, but
player skill still matters.
Still matters, absolutely. But like it led me down this whole like term of zero decks, and it's just a very interesting thing where they just eat up too much of the meta. So this is why bans come into play.
I think the way my brain locks onto this is, are you familiar with how a lot of like certainly content creators, TCG creators, the tier system, right? You'll see tier S, tier A, tier B. Some people use tier 0, tier 1, tier 2, whatever. I think when you say this, you're talking about like a tier 0 deck, right? Like,
tier 0, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, so, sorry, zero decks. I think they call it tier 0. Yeah,
right. Tier 0 is kind of how I'm used to hearing the term used, but I understand where you're coming from. So what you're talking about, as I understand it, right, is a deck that, the way I would quantify it in layman's term is it's a deck that doesn't have bad matchups. Okay. Frequently, like SWU, up until this Cad deck, really, there's been a lot of decks that I would consider tier 1 decks, good decks, and a deck that has a chance to win a major event. Anytime you sit down, you hand it to a competent pilot, it's possible for that deck to win its way through to the end. I'll use Vader Yellow as a good example, right? Vader Yellow still winning PQs a year after it came into being, right? Okay. Still a tier 1 deck in the right hands and the right build. But even a Vader 1 deck, even that deck has bad matchups. There are things it can run into, things it can sit down across from that it is not favored into winning. It's not a good matchup for the deck for whatever reason. Tier 0 decks in my head are decks that when you stop and you look at the aggregate numbers, and you can see this in CAD, there's some websites out there that compile the data out of Melee. You look down the line, there's not a matchup out there where Cad Bane, like the Cad Vigilance decks we've been seeing, have a matchup with a below, like it's either below 50% or much below like 48% in terms of win rate. In other words, there's not a deck out there that's a Cad killer, right? You can build a deck to kill Vader Yellow. You can almost always look at something on that tier 1 list and make a meta call and go, I'm going to make a deck, or I'm going to have a sideboard, things that target this, whatever X is, right? Whatever you perceive that the meta in that event is going to be heavily skewed for. You can't really do that with Cad. And I think that's why he feels that gross, right? Because there's not, if you're not playing Cad, you don't feel favored into the matchup ever. And the stats, statistically, the data we have bears that out.
Yeah. Then it led me down this whole other rabbit hole of how these players would then like learn how to shuffle their cards so they would end up with the perfect draw at the beginning. So as long as they went first, they won, or like they knew like they would give somebody like the first turn so that they knew when they went second, they would win. Like it took me down this really deep rabbit hole of like, man, when you put money, like we play for pieces of paper.
Oh yeah.
And I've seen cheating. When you put money on the line, the amount of cheating that goes on is insane. Insane.
People do what you incentivize them to do. I don't know why this is that hard. I don't know why people go and clutch their pearls. Whatever you incentivize people to do.
Because there's people like me in the world who always look. I always say this. My mom was Mary Poppins. Okay, I was raised by Mary Poppins. So I look at people and I only ever see the good. always until they burn me. And it always takes burning me that I see who they are as a person. But I always want to see the good in people first. It's who I am as a person. And that's why it exists. Because there are chumps like me in the world.
Yeah. There are chumps like you. When it's so easy, like a lot of these cheats are so easy to beat. All you have to, like, the thing that I do where I always shuffle the deck, like, people give me crap about this. Like, I don't,
no,
it's
do
not
it every
you,
time.
it's not
I
me.
totally understand.
I consider that the randomization of your deck is your responsibility and my responsibility.
Right.
And so therefore, if they forget to give it to me, then I ask for it. So it's just like, you just put simple safeguards in place. But there are a vast array of people and all into the spectrum. And for all the people, I also refuse to cheat because then it's not worth it for me. But there are, for all the people that are on our end of the spectrum, Ian, there are people on the other end who just want to win, and
they'll do whatever,
what you incentivize them.
Exactly
to do.
right. Exactly right. About 2 or 3 weeks ago, Ian, I linked a video in our little running Discord thread about a Magic cheater that had recently been kind of sussed out. Did you watch that video?
Mm-hmm.
You did?
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes for folks that want to see it. But essentially, this was a guy who he would stack his deck. He would play card effects that would allow him to search his deck. And while he was in there searching for whatever card he was allowed to pull, he would find the cards that he wanted to draw in the near term, slide them to the top of his deck, and then he would a mass shuffle. He would do a mass shuffle with his deck in such a way that the top card never changed, and then he would not present his deck to his opponent to cut. And I was really proud of myself because the first time I watched that video, I watched him mass shuffle, and I caught that I was like, wait a minute. He never mass shuffled in a way that the top card changed. I watched him put a card there, and then I was like, I was really impressed with myself because ordinarily I don't pick up on that stuff. And they watched him do this on camera repeatedly. So yeah, and that's just one example. And to me, it's not just like physical cheating at the table. Sometimes it's you'll hear people talk about angle shooting or rules sharking. Right? It's the attitude and how sometimes you'll try to mentally throw your opponent off balance. Games.
It's just that if that's legal,
it's legal.
It's in the rules.
It's 100% legal. But my point is that it's not that it's illegal. It's that when you play in larger games, especially in the TCG world, with big prizes, big money, right? You're gonna eventually run into people that this is their thing. And if you don't want to deal with it, you have to avoid events that's going to attract them, or I don't want to say avoid games, because if you're playing in local events, you very rarely will find this kind of behavior. You will find it, but it tends to be less common, thankfully. I
want to carefully draw a distinction here because you said two things there that I feel very strongly about. Because if you are a type of person that wants every game to be casual and, I forgot to play a resource, do you mind if I play the same way we play Twin Suns, where somebody be like, I forgot to do this, can I go back? And nobody else has done anything. You're like, yeah, absolutely. If you want every game to be like that, then yes, you can think about cheating or angle shooting or rules lawyering or whatever it is, whatever you want to call it, like that. You can avoid that as a class of things because people taking this more seriously than I do, and I don't want to play with those people. But if you're going to crack that, if you want to crack that open, those are very different things.
Yes.
Because the rules are the rules, and if there is some serious prizes on the line, people are going to take it seriously. Yes. And they're not like the people that want to win.
Should.
I've been in tournaments, I've been that guy, and if you do something that is, if I'm going to do everything within the rules, that is a huge distinction. If it's in the rules, and I have a reason to take this that seriously, I'm going to take it that seriously, and that is grotesquely different than actually cheating.
Yes, I agree. But my point is, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's cheating. I'm saying if you find that kind of behavior from your opponent to be distasteful, if you don't want to deal with that, then you simply probably don't want to participate in events that have got that level of prizing that's going to draw out those kinds of players. That's just a fact, right?
That's true. I mean,
I just wanted to.
You said two things very close together that I wanted to make sure drew a distinction of. Yes, people take this stuff seriously at a certain level, and if you don't want to be around people that use every trick that they can within the rules, and some people that go over, then those are not the events for you.
I agree, and I apologize if you misunderstood what I was trying to say, because that is exactly what I was trying to say. Is just
I just want to make sure everybody listening understands. We're okay.
I'm not saying if you're doing things inside the rules, then you're not breaking. You're obviously not doing anything wrong. Okay, but my point is that I won't say I've ever been that guy, but I've definitely sat across from people in my TCG career where you can tell that they're saying things and acting in a way to try and get to you, right?
They're bad at it.
Some people are bad at it. Some people are good at it. Okay, but it's the point remains, right? That if you're not willing to sit across from that kind of behavior and either just let it roll off of you and ignore it, or just absorb it and move on, then that a lot of these high level, high prize, high competition level events are probably not going to be enjoyable. That's just all it is. That's just all I'm trying to say. So, speaking of competition, right? High level events, and that sort of thing, there was an announced change recently to the judging program for Star Wars Unlimited, right? Back when PQs were first announced, way back, gosh, it's been almost 2 years now, was shortly after they had first announced the judging program. And the judging program was being managed by Cascade Games. Now, Cascade, Trey, my first experience with them was these were the guys that used to run the old Destiny Galactic qualifier events. That was my first experience with them. And so I was really excited that somebody that I sort of knew, I felt like I knew, and kind of was like, oh, okay, these guys are pretty good at this sort of thing. So they were responsible for starting the judge program, developing the training and the testing and the qualifications and all this sort of thing. And that's been going on for a couple of years. But apparently that contract expires at the end of October, and they have been told that they are not going to be renewed, that there's going to be a change made here.
That was quite a stream. I just randomly listened to that stream. I don't ever listen to judge streams, not because I don't find them interesting, but just I'm busy doing work during the middle of the day on that day, and I was just like, "Hey, isn't there a stream?" And I turned it on, and it was the head guy at Cascade and the head guy of the judge program. I don't know. I mean, obviously, it was going to be a sad event anyway, but I was just like, "Whoa, this is going on," and it was. I don't know. It was like a funeral. It was kind of interesting that these guys, like you could tell they were not pleased. It was not a mutual parting of the ways. So,
no, I don't think so. They're obviously the Cascade team. I think had a lot of passion for doing this and doing it right. Felt like they were doing a good job. But I also know that not everybody agrees, right? I've talked to a number of judges at the various events that I've been to that had either concerns or just outright disagreements with either the execution of the program or some of the ruling guidance they were working with, and felt like they weren't being heard, I guess. I'm not sure exactly. But obviously it wasn't necessarily working for everybody, and I guess FFG kind of felt the same way, that it wasn't working for them, and they were willing to make a change here, which I guess is a good thing, right? Like if it's not working, one of the things that I always in my job, right, engineering management, one of the things that I always advocate for is, don't sit around waiting to make a decision, right? Waiting, the money and time you spend waiting to make a flawless decision is money just wasted. You're just wasting time. Make a decision. But don't be afraid later on to revisit and possibly make a different decision if the previous one is proving to be bad or just wrong, or it's not working, or whatever.
Not optimal.
It's not optimal. If it's not working, don't be afraid to change direction. And I think that's what this is. This is, so to me, from my chair, this is it's not working for FFG, and they're going to make a change. Now, the one thing I would have liked to have seen them do here is, okay, because this announcement kind of came, I think what happened was Cascade was notified, and then they went and told everybody, and then FFG announced it. But there's been thus far no announcement as to what's going to replace the official judge program, and that's the one thing that I would have liked to have seen kind of come out simultaneously or like right on the heels of it. Yeah, and it's like they have to do something. We just don't know what it is yet, and so there's this. We're in this weird limbo of, well, this is ending in 8 weeks, but we don't know what's replacing it yet? Question mark.
So the only thing that I kind of got a hint of in listening to the stream was that their attempt to do a worldwide program logistically had bitten off more than they could chew for an organization their size. That was the only thing, and I don't know the details. I think it was getting product or items sent out. I am interpreting what I heard on the stream, so I don't know how accurate it is, but I did come away with the impression that they were trying to coordinate a worldwide judge program, and they were unable to execute on some of the logistics part of it. And so I don't know how large that played into it, or if I just heard them wrong. But that's what I took away from the judge thing.
That's a fair point.
This is another instance of Fantasy Flight going, you know what? That's not working. Let's change it on this game.
I don't like it without a replacement. That's bad.
It's a little nerve-wracking, but I'll be honest. I want to believe that FFG doesn't make this change without internal deliberation and internal decision, a decision of, okay, this is the kind of thing that like you decide internally before you tell the subcontractor. You say, okay, we're not going to renew them. What are we going to do instead? Okay, we have to find somebody else. Who's that going to be? Maybe you have some conversations, maybe you don't. But you have a plan in place before you go to them and say, guys, we're not renewing your contract. So that way, and you're already moving down that road of whatever the replacement's going to be, so that way, as soon as they've been notified, you take your next step to go solicit bids or pick up the phone and call who it is you want to give this program to or whatever. However, whatever it is you're doing, you have to set that roadmap in place before you tell them this is coming. So, but they haven't told us, but they have to know what they're doing. I mean, I just can't imagine they would start down this road without a plan.
So, Wes, I'm going to ask you a question.
Bring it.
So you think it's a good idea to cut a judge program in October when you have a set coming out October and November with a lot of different rules and a lot of different changes, and you want to roll out a new judge program during this time?
So I think there's two things. I think there's two things at play here. My assumption is the contract ended and that they're just choosing not to renew it. Mm-hmm. But also consider that we've also been told that there aren't going to be there's a narrow window in October between the release of Homeworlds and the release of Icons. And we've been told they're not going to run a PQ season in that window. It's like 4 weeks or 3 weeks or something. Yeah. So, however, they are running a single regional championship. The European Regional in Utrecht is coming that very last weekend in October. In fact, I think the last day of that regional, I got to look at a calendar. Let's see. Actually, okay, that's a little awkward. Because it looks like if it runs that weekend, it might actually fall into November 1 rather than October 31st, which is when the Cascade contract ends. But they'll figure all that out. Bottom line is that it gives them an opportunity to cut ties with Cascade, have the new thing announced, and still give them a few weeks, probably the better part of a month, to get it implemented, turned on, implemented, have it up and running before PQ season probably officially starts the first weekend in December. That's a guess, but that's how I'm reading the calendar on this one.
Good companies have a plan.
Yes.
Great companies execute a plan.
Yes, I would love.
We'll see.
I want to believe.
We'll see what we get.
Believe, Ian. I want to believe.
We'll see what we get.
Go ahead, Trey.
Oh my God, my retail brain is just like, I've seen this so many times in retail, just crash and burn, baby.
I know. Go ahead, Trey.
GameStop. I worked for GameStop one time, and during the holiday season, they told us to stop taking trades.
That's a terrible idea. Well, who thought that was a good idea?
I have no idea.
That's awful.
I have no idea. They're like, on Black Friday, you don't take in trades. And I'm like, bro, that's how I sell games.
Yeah.
Kids bring in their whole hoard. My mom says I get a PS2 and here is my hoard. Like,
wow.
Yeah.
So I knew it at the time. I knew that when we heard it, it felt big to me. But this is one of those like safety blanket things of having the next championships, Galactics, in May at Disneyland is just like, I'm not even worried about this judge program thing, because I don't think Disney allows them to make it so high profile and on campus if they're not they're privy to way more information than I am, and they've got to be comfortable with it to put this level of their weight behind it. And so, like, I'm not even worried about this. There'll be something. They have some plans, even if they're finalizing the plans or they just haven't announced them yet. So, like, I just assume that, and I assume based on the Disney actually backing it to the point of having Galactics at Disneyland, that makes me assume that they have this together and they will at least weather out this storm.
I don't even know that I would call it a storm. I just call it a change. It's just a natural change of things. You've hired. Here's what it boils down to, right? The way I look at it this way. You chose not to do this yourself. You hired a subcontractor to do it for you. They did it for 2 years. And at the end of that contract, or at the end of that duration, you decided, you know what? I'm not happy with this. Or I would rather do this in-house. I'm going to hire my own people and manage it internally. Or I'm going to go hire a different subcontract. However, whatever the decision is, that's not working for you. And you're moving in a different direction. I don't look at it as catastrophe. I look at it as just business, right? It's a business decision, and they're moving in a different direction. It is what it is. Last thing we have on the docket, gentlemen. I haven't been around to see this in a while. What is the latest Twin Sons drama? I can already see Trey shaking his head.
Whatever it is, Trey's wrong. No, I'm just
See,
kidding.
this is the problem. This is exactly the problem, is that I've been cast as the bad guy by Ian, and now people listen to Ian when it is in Ian's interest to submarine trust in me. So everybody that listens to Ian is just playing into his desire to do better at the game.
But I never win. I'm not a threat, bro. I never win.
This is amazing. I love everything that is happening right now.
They listen to you to their own detriment. Everything that
that's a great point.
Came from. They listen to you to your own detriment. Everything I'm about to say is backed up by Ian said this, so I'm going to do it the way Ian said. Okay, this happened, I guess, last Tuesday. This is almost a week ago now, and I'm still at a loss. If somebody has the power to destroy you, have a conversation and answer them. Like, don't just be like, I don't know, do whatever you're going to do. Like, okay, so I don't have a metaphor for this. I just have to explain the situation. So we got 4 people playing Twin Sons. This is a wild, off the screeching left turn from the rest of this podcast, because now we're just like, this is the thing that happened in this game of Twin Sons.
Let's have some. We've been super serial for a while. Let's have some fun.
Yeah, let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
All right, so we've got this Twin Sons game going on, and I've got my board. I'm playing this new deck that I've got. I'm having a good time. And the person on my right and the person catty corner for me, they have reasonably strong space presences. Enough that I don't want to get hit by them in space. But I'm trying to deal with the ground. And so I have shored up space. And I don't remember the name of the card because I don't remember the name of the cards anymore. But I have played the 2/7 Sentinel guy in space, right?
It's called Graceful Purgle.
This is why we're friends. Graceful Purgle is sitting for me in space. They can kill him. They could totally kill him, but they would have to send all of their guys would have to gang up and send it into my guys. So in the politics, with the flow of the game, like that's how Twin Sons is going to work. If I can throw that Graceful Purgle out there, and they just got some fighters that, they'll survive bouncing off of my Graceful Purgle, but then they'll die to something else pretty easily. And so that's all I want. I want my Graceful Purgle there. He's
meat shield. Nice meat shield.
He's a cork in the bottle. He's protecting me in space.
Exactly.
If somebody manages to kill him and come after me, that's perfectly reasonable. I understand if you want to come after me and think I'm a threat and you can kill my guy, that I get it. That makes sense that you would do that. All right, so that's the person to my right, person across from me. Person to my left, who is sitting directly in front of me, is Katie. Katie has, I don't even know what the ship was. It was a 3/2 in space.
Okay.
And she's playing Asajj, the
pilot
leader.
Pilot leader. Okay.
And she has flipped it over.
Okay. And she's a 4/4, right? So that's a 7/6.
It's a 6/7, or it's like a 6/5 or something like that. Okay. But when she has grit, so when she attacks, she can like ping herself and ping something else.
Oh, okay. And so she can pump it to 7 or whatever.
So she can get it to 7 immediately. Okay. And so, all right, so the round ends. Katie has flipped that thing over, and I go before Katie. She's directly in front of me. She's to my left. The button is with the guy on my right. He goes, he just does whatever he's going to do. Something for his first play. And I'm like, look, Katie, you have me terrified. I'm scared here that you're going to use your guy to kill my graceful Purgle. You can just attack me with impunity, and I can't do anything about it. The hit back to you will only make you stronger. And so, like, I don't want this to happen.
Let's make a deal.
So not even like make a deal. Like, let me know it. And then I have the ability to kill this thing in my hand. And I'd flat out say this. Well, I started off saying like, hey, Katie, let's talk about this. Please help me with your intentions on this. And she was like, no, I'm do whatever you're gonna do. I don't want to play. Ian told me that I never make a deal with you, so I don't make a deal with you. And so I'm like, I'm not looking for a deal. I want to know what you're going to do with this guy. And she was like, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do.
Love Katie. She's such pure chaos in a bottle, bro. She's so great.
This is awesome.
So I'm like, okay, I'm going to tell you this. I can kill your guy right now and I don't die. And if you don't like make it, if we don't discuss this so that I know what you're going to do, I'm going to have to do that. You have the ability to destroy me. I'm going first, so I have to pull the trigger on this first. Unless you just tell me you're not going to do that. And she was like, she was like, look at the board. That doesn't seem like something I would do. I was like, great, then tell me you're not going to do it. She's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Ian said, don't make a deal with you.
Dead unit.
Okay. Hold on. I'll flag on the play. You're not asking her for anything in exchange. You're just saying,
I just want to know what
we're not making a deal. I'm asking for information. I'm not asking for a deal. Yeah, give me information. Okay.
I mean,
anyway,
in total transparency and fairness, I am kind of asking for a deal because if she
says Trey now,
no, that's fair. I see.
Hide behind the cart. I'm not telling you nothing.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the lesson that I think other people should learn in Twin Sons is if somebody is in a position to do damage, if you're in a position to hurt somebody badly in Twin Sons, and they can stop you.
They're probably going to.
But you don't really have an intention of doing whatever you're going to do. Communicate with that person and let them know. I thought it was going to be fun to have Katie like smash everybody in space. But I can't take that chance if she's going to maybe attack me. Right. So if she doesn't even want to have the conversation with me, I was like, well, I cannot take the chance that you were going to attack me, and I'm just going to instantly lose. So I play my whatever the little R2D2 thing, R5D4, that like when you attack, you blow up.
Oh, it discards the upgrade. Right. Yeah.
It kills the upgrade. So I play this with support. I attack my graceful Purgle, attacks her unit.
Discards her.
Asajj immediately dies.
Yeah.
She has a 3/2. My graceful Purgle kills it.
Yeah.
And so like I was like, I didn't want to do that, Katie.
Yeah,
but you wouldn't talk to me.
But if you don't talk to me, I have no choice. So
just a real quick question. In your little rant, you used a sentence, and I just want to ask the meaning of the sentence.
Please
you wanted to watch Katie smash people in space. Who are the people in space you want to see smash? Are you one of those people?
I don't care.
Of course not. Of course not. That's not how any of this works.
Stop. In the course of the game, if my graceful Purgle dies, that's what he's there for. He's there to suck up damage. He's there to block it. He's just be a deterrent.
Yeah.
If in the course of the game, like if I had let her go, and she was like, "All right, I'm going to get Trey." If I didn't have the ability to kill it, and it had rolled over to her turn, and she had killed my guy, that would have made total sense to me. Like that means she's trying to win the game. Like I'm not upset with her for doing it. And I don't begrudge her if that was her line of play, what she was going to do. But when somebody says, "I'm going to kill your guy unless you tell me that you're not going to hit me with this guy, I'm going to kill him," you have to engage at that point. If you want to keep your guy, like then that ruined her game. Like her guy, she had gone all in on the guy in space. She had flipped it over. Like that was going to be her. She had a couple of little things on the ground that were kind of chippy chumping and like stopping things, but that was going to be her route to victory, was to punch people in space. I was the only one with the Sentinel, so she was about to start hitting people for big damage in space. And so I wasn't particularly trying to ruin her game by killing her guy. I didn't want to kill her guy. When I say I wanted to smash people in space, I didn't have anybody in particular in mind. I just wanted my guy to be there and not get
smashed
off the table.
Space, but everybody else
waved off the table. Well, yeah, and if I had not had a way to deal with it, then it would have made perfect sense. But I specifically said, I'm going to kill your guy unless I get assurances that you're not coming after me. And she just wouldn't talk to me. For other people playing this game, if you're in this situation, you're going to leave somebody and you go, "I'm just not going to talk to you. I'm not going to deal with you, blah, blah, blah." You're going to leave somebody no choice but to like, well, then I have to protect myself against the possibility that you're going to ruin my game. So I have to kill you first.
Yeah.
Just talk to people.
Communication is important, right? Like the analogy I'll draw here, right, is another game that's way more complicated and way more strategery. But one of my favorite board games is Twilight Imperium, and Twilight Imperium is literally anywhere from 3 to 6 people sitting around playing giant intergalactic politics for 12 hours, and it only works if you talk to people, because if you don't, you find yourself in this situation where I've got a fleet on the board, and you look at the guy sitting next to you and go, well, what are you planning on doing with that? Is it coming to me? Like, are we about to have a disagreement, or do you have? And so maybe you step away and you have a separate conversation between the two of you, where you come to some kind of understanding. And it's not even necessarily a deal, but it's just like international diplomacy, where
it's exactly what it is.
It's like, hold up, you just drove a giant armored division onto our border. What's going on over there, buddy? Right? Am I going to have to flip a tactical nuke at your guys, or are you coming in? Like, what's going on over here? That's all it is. It's just international diplomacy. Same idea.
That's my tip for the week for people playing Twin Sons.
Tip for the week. Talk to your opponents.
And if somebody tells you, I'm going to kill your giant dude unless you tell me you're not going to attack me with it, then go either say, well, I was planning on attacking you with it, so go ahead and kill him. Call their bluff, or say you're not going to attack with it, but have the conversation, because not having the conversation is exactly the same as saying, I'm going to kill you with it.
That's how it has to,
that way.
Exactly. It has to be interpreted in that fashion. Go ahead, Ian.
Well, first of all, Trey, you should already know that she was going to attack your unit, clearly.
Absolutely. Because it's Katie, because we've developed this lore. I know she was going to attack my unit.
But she Twin Sons back and forth is... If we could, if we ever do like a Twin Sons game, the very first one, Katie has to be like a special guest. Like, she has to be the fourth person at that table, because it's interesting.
I will make it happen.
I've said this on this podcast the last couple of episodes. My not willing to treaty with people has cost me a lot of Twin Sons games. It's put me in a very bad spot in some of those games because I'm not willing to treat with certain people. It cost me a game with you. It's cost me a game with Fred, right? Because I put people on the no treaty list. I really got to rethink my no treaty list.
Yeah, I think you should re-examine that, buddy.
Katie sticking to her guns like I do and just saying, no, I don't trust anything you do, bro. Do what you got to do. It's exactly what I would have said too. That's why it's killing me over here.
Yeah. And I don't even begrudge, like, if that's your attitude, that's your attitude. That's fine. But then don't be like upset when I got to treat it like you were going to attack me and kill your guy.
Yeah, you can't be upset. Yeah. Like, if you're like, I'm going to kill your unit if you don't attack me, I'd be like, well, prove it. And then you play Craving Power. I'm like, well, I guess you were right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Anyway, that was I needed it.
Uh-oh. Good old fashioned chaos grenade.
You do this, and then she listens, and her game is worse, and she loses more games because she listens to you. I don't understand why she keeps listening to you.
Because sometimes to Katie and I, it isn't about winning; it's about poking the bear.
I was gonna say, Trey,
it's more fun to poke the bear.
Trey, you have to understand now.
More fun sometimes to poke the bear.
You have to
understand. It was Matt Mendoza. He was the one to my right. Yeah.
You have to.
Mendoza?
Mendoza was there.
I missed a Mendoza week.
Wow. Yeah. Mendoza sighting.
Of course,
That's
I'm
crazy.
in Vegas and he shows up. Of course.
You have to understand, Trey, that you have reached a point in your Twin Sons career where you are very commonly sitting down across from at least one, if not two, Heath Ledger Jokers who are just there to watch the world burn, buddy. They don't care what happens as long as you go home on fire and with 0 health on your base.
Half my events are just chaos.
Yeah.
They're not even like purposeful.
Some men just want to watch the world burn, Trey. And that's just how it is in TS. I'm afraid so.
Love it. Love it. I hope we get a game in this week with draft, but we'll see.
Yeah, I'm hoping so as well. I haven't gotten my stuff built yet, but I just look forward to draft. I love drafting Ashes. This is such a great set.
I suck so bad.
Oh, it's such a great set to draft. It's such a good set.
This is like the worst I've ever been at any draft in any game. Is this set?
Such a great set to draft. I love it. All right, guys. Well, listen. We should probably hang this up. Do me a favor, though. Don't run away when we're done, because I'm starting to do. I want to record a public service announcement. I want us to record a little 30-second ad that I can play on streams going forward for the podcast. So, and I've just now dropping that on you guys cold. So don't leave when we hang it up.
Awesome.
Nobody's got anything else, right? We're good to go. We've hit all the major topics.
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we got it.
All right, guys. Well, as always, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging with us. Appreciate you. Throw us the like, subscribe, 5 stars button, whatever. Every time I listen
Discord.
to my, go ahead. Oh, the Discord. Yes, we do have our Discord link. That'll be in the show notes now. Go ahead.
It's discord.onthebutton.xyz.
Mm-hmm. Come and hang out with us.
Just go there and it's invite.
Yeah, come and hang out with us. Join the Discord, chat with us. We've actually been having some fun conversations. So that's been fun. That's thanks to you guys that have joined since the last episode when we premiered that. That was really cool. So yeah, let's hang it up. Appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great week. Take care. We'll see you at a future event or with a future episode. Until then, enjoy your swoo. Peace.